construction of Bunyan's Rest Hotel soon became a beacon for tourists, attracting visitors from around the globe eager to experience Pine Harbor County. The increased foot traffic brought about thriving nightlife, restaurants, and attractions, brining with increased wealth for the business owners of the area. However, tourists were not the only visitors to Pine Harbor County. Soon after the grand opening of Bunyan Rest Hotel, an unknown illness swept across the county, hospitalizing thousands of residents with the death toll that slowly continued to increase. Faced with its first county-wide pandemic, the Pine Harbor Center for Disease Control sought to cure the county and even established a satellite research campus in Alders Bend in hopes to destroy this unwelcome visitor. However, would this be enough to save the citizens of Pine Harbor County from the disease? Heyo and welcome to another episode of Pine Harbor County, where we will use and abuse the new operating district mechanic that was introduced in Cities Skylines 2. In the last episode, we put you, the viewers' suggestions, to the test and built a luxury downtown hotel, as well as initiated a public transport overhaul with review, revamp, and tentative plans for future expansion of our current system. If you happened to miss our 40th episode special, then be sure to click on the info card above. Or, if you're looking to binge watch a new Cities Skylines 2 series, then check out the entire Pine Harbor County playlist in the description below. Today, we are going to break ground in Alders Bend by building a massive medical complex equipped with multiple medical services, education campus, and just so much. So much medicine shall be coming. So if you're excited to watch this fusion of assets commence, then be sure to hit the like button and stick around until the end to see how we do this. So right out of the gate, before we start adding any assets, we need to consider the infrastructure for Alders Bend, as we really only have this one main arterial road and this rail connection at this time. And I plan to abuse this rail connection quite thoroughly. If we look at our public transport overview, we already have the Braeburn to Bunyan's Rest train line traversing this track. So I would like to start by adding a few road networks into this area, as well as the original train station. I am choosing the original train station because there's a chance I may wish to add an extra set of tracks and add another line that connects Braeburn to Pine Grove. But that would be a project for another day, so if that is something you wish to see, let me know down in the comments. So let's jump into a bit of a time lapse, as I have a general idea of what I would like to do in this area. Next is to put in the medical university, and honestly, I'm placing this asset for several reasons. One, it's gonna probably look wicked cool. Two, I'm secretly hoping it will help with the current hospital death issues we are experiencing across Pine Harbor County, because this asset will actually decrease the recovery failures by 25% region-wide and increase the hospital efficiency by 10% region-wide. And then three, the university will assist with our higher education needs that we are beginning to get, I don't want to say low on in Pine Harbor County, but it's going into that light green section, and I like to be in the dark green. Anywho, I really don't know if this is going to solve our medical issues, but right now I am out of ideas on how to fix all the ambulance icons we have across our region. We have ample healthcare, so if I actually jump over into the healthcare viewability, we seem to have ample healthcare with about 60% average health, which I cannot figure why it's so low. For the record, we have zero water pollution, a good garbage processing statistic, our sewage isn't backed up from what I can see, and while our traffic rate isn't great, it doesn't seem to be the key reason behind the plethora of sick residents. So hopefully this asset helps by increasing the hospital's efficiencies across the region and decreasing the failed recoveries. And if not, it'll look cool. So I want to wiggle this right into this section, I think right here, like right in the corner here. But I think I want to get a couple of pathways, just like some basic bridges to get the pedestrians down first. Now that we had the medical university placed and decked out, I want to complement it with the Medical Research Institute, since this will hopefully assist with the pandemic by providing a 10% decrease to disease infection rate region-wide. So what I would like to do is kind of snuggle this asset right up next to the medical university and make the Research Institute look more like an extension of the university itself. While we have ample hospital coverage, I really felt that this campus area wouldn't be complete without a hospital complex. So we're going to add in a few service assets, and for now, I will leave them as active just in case they assist with our ambulance icons. If it doesn't assist, then I will just deactivate the assets, just so we don't burn through our budget, which honestly, we've been hemorrhaging a little bit less. So let's just take a quick second. Last episode, we were hemorrhage about 600 to 700K in the hole, in a deficit. I played around a little bit off camera, and I actually deleted a huge portion of our low density housing just because I was trying to play with the demand bar a little bit. So what you probably haven't seen is we had some low density residential demand, and then when it all grew back in, we significantly dropped in our deficit. So for example, if I actually come over to Pine Grove, last episode, none of these houses were filled in, and honestly, they hadn't been filled in since we finished Pine Grove. When I deleted a bunch of the housing up here in Brayburn, then we suddenly started getting some demand and more grew in and fixed the deficit a little bit. So I'm not entirely sure if this is a fluke or not, but if there's anybody else who's struggling post the economy patch, try saving your game, deleting whatever it is you don't have demand in. Like for me, it was residential, and let it refill and see if that just kind of evens it out. Just for the sake of kicks and giggles, honestly, because it worked for me. We're still in deficit, but half of what we were. Anywho, let's start with this extension of the campus with 2 hospitals, and I think we're going to deck out both assets with the helipad, trauma centers, and treatment wards. complement the campus and make it unique, I want to add a medical clinic with 3 extension wings. Now, I'm going to have some fun with this. Back when we built Pine Grove, I learned you can actually turn the snapping off for the extensions and upgrades of an asset. This allows us to wiggle the extension off the side of the main building enough, and in some cases, you can actually run a road right between the main building and the extension. This is just so much power that we have now. And that is exactly what I plan to do. So let's time lapse this a little bit and I can show you kind of what I mean. Nice. I think I like how that came out. This passage park and I are just too much to handle. And I just placed it in. There's already homeless people there. So finally, I deliberately left enough space in the corner of the hospitals so I could build a single high-rise office building to kind of act as like a corporate office of sorts for the campus. It also helps the region since we are still having a huge demand of offices at the moment, as well as a kind of high unemployment rate. I mean, this is much better since I deleted a bunch of the rural demand, or rural housing, sorry, to actually get the demand back, but still a little higher than where I like it to be. So let's get a big chungus right here. Okay, maybe not that big of a chungus. Awesome. I do think I'm gonna like this height, but I'm kind of debating if I should put a parking lot in here instead. Nah, we'll leave it like that for now. Alrighty, so that was a decent amount of building with ample opportunity for beautifying our build. So let's jump right on into a time lapse and begin adding in some flora to this area to make it look nice. Okay, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. If you enjoyed, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications to be sure to tune in next week to watch how we fill in the rest of Alder's Bend. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.